Yeah, let's do it.
Why did you decide on this role? Why did you want it to be Jim Donovan?
Because I'm a selfish actor and I know a good role when I read one. That's all. That's all it takes. Look, I'm a lay historian. I read history for pleasure. I'm not as satisfied by fiction as I am by more of a historical record. I like what people really did and how people really behaved by stuff that's made up. So this is a fault I have. But as far as being, as far as making movies go, when Steven Spielberg calls up and he says, "Hey, I have this interesting script I'd like you to read," you pay attention to that. And as the selfish actor part of me says, the chance to play somebody like James Donovan, who is as good as he is at what he does, well, you end up just kind of like coming off as being one of the coolest guys in the room, and everybody wants to play the coolest guy in the room. So you jump at the chance.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, this is not a typical, this is an agent movie. This is not a spy movie. This is someone you usually don't know about. This is the guys who work in the background. What makes him so interesting as a character?
Well, I had no idea. I'd never heard of James B. Donovan, and what he went through was actually almost fantastic. You can't quite believe it. There is this concept of the lawyer who understands that everybody deserves an advocate, everybody deserves a defense, and it's almost a difficult concept to grasp in certain sense, and particularly if the guy is as bad as a guy is like a Russian spy is supposed to be. But the along with that, then the other adventure that comes hand in hand with that is getting this task to go on the other side of the Berlin Wall and do this. That's supposed to be the realm of super secret agents, that have gizmos and guns and have special training. It's not supposed to be what an insurance lawyer is asked to do. And when it happens in certain types of films, I think the audience gets to be put in the same place that the lawyer is, and they can ask themselves, well, what would I do under those same circumstances? How would I react? I mean, you're a journalist. Can you imagine say, we need a journalist to go on the other side of the Berlin Wall in order to go? All you would be is a journalist using your journalistic skills to make it happen. But that would be an interesting story as well, because you're not a super secret agent, and neither was James Donovan.
Yeah, but that is the thing. I think everybody can relate to this guy who's just jumping into this. Did you thought about what would you have done given the chance of this?
I would have run away. I would not have done it. There is, the great thing about being an actor is it doesn't have to have anything to do with you. I get to pretend to be these people, and it doesn't have to relate to my life. I have challenges that are put before me simply because I have volunteered for the job to put on these other guys' clothes and pretend to be this other guy. And there's risks that are involved in me, but they're all internal more than they are anything else. The pleasure of being an actor is going through the doing of a role and learning some aspect about, in the case of James Donovan, like negotiating skills. I don't have any negotiating skills whatsoever, but after having played this role in this movie, I now know that one of the things you can do as a negotiator is kind of make the other person think that they have won so that you win and everybody wins, and that's the end of a successful negotiation. I didn't really know that until I made this movie, but now I'll have that in my pocket and I can carry it around with me for a while.
I think one of the pleasure also is shooting with Steven Spielberg.
Nothing wrong with that.
What is Steven Spielberg and shooting in Berlin? I think you're quite known to the city and you know the city by now.
Yeah.
So how was the work here?
Well, I kind of drove Steven nuts because I had been here as much and has read so much about it. And when I read Donovan's books about these two subjects, the trial and also the 6 days that he spent here, so I kept coming to him with all this anecdotal information. For example, he spoke German. He spoke enough German, so he used his German in order to get through passport control. When he was held by the border police on the other side, there was actually literature at his disposal in English about why you should want to come and live and work in the GDR, the German Workers' Paradise, and we actually used that. We printed one up, and that's the newspaper that he has over over his face. So Stephen is very pliable, and he wants us to come in with ideas that are not in the script. A lot of directors don't want that.
Yeah.
The last thing they want to do is talk to an actor about some idea they have about a scene. They just want the actor to show up and do what he's told. Stephen, though, will come in and has faith in everybody, not just me, but everybody who is cast in the movie, to come in and try to make it a little bit better and tell him something that he doesn't know.
Yeah, and you shot actually here in Berlin at the Quiet Time in November. It was shortly after this anniversary.
We were here for the anniversary, yeah.
How was that? I mean,
Oh, it was extraordinary. It was a magic place to walk around. You know, with all the balloons that were going up, and I was one of 10,000 people in Potsdamer Platz watching it all happen. You got Beethoven that's playing down at the Brandenburg Gate. You got Mikhail Gorbachev down there standing up. I felt as though we were in the center of the world for a moment, and it was not. It was such a hopeful celebration of something that had gone away, and really, it really was a signpost for the world when that Berlin Wall came down, and the 20th anniversary. It was the equal kind of like signpost. It's like, look, it came about without World War III, which is an extraordinary thing to be able to say, because even when I was growing up, there was no way there wasn't going to be a World War III, and there was no way that wall was going to come down without some brand of armed conflict, and it never happened.
and can you imagine if the wall was still standing, what would have changed for you, maybe, or do you?
If the wall was still standing?
Yeah.
I'm sort of kicking myself that I never came and actually saw it when it was just a routine thing. That was just part of the, the architectural and the political landscape of not just East and West Berlin, but the entire world. I just studying it, and I look at it, and all I can think of is just what a stupid idea and what a waste of humanity that wall was. But human beings go down those dead ends on occasion, and it can take a long time for them to realize that they should turn around and come back out into the daylight again.
What is a line in the movie I really thought about is, it don't matter what the people think of you, it matters that you know what happened.
You know what you did, yeah.
Yeah.
Donovan says that to Francis Powers. Francis Powers went back to the United States, and he was persona non grata. He was viewed as a traitor. He was viewed as a man who didn't do his job for a very long time. That's since gone by the wayside. But it's hard in order to find solace in your own self-assuredness. But Donovan had that. And yeah, he does say that, when Gary said, I didn't do anything, I didn't give up everything. Donovan's, the best he can do is say, it doesn't matter what people think. You know what you did. So, gather your strength from that. Hard to do, but the people who are, I think, more self-assuredness and have a better understanding of their place in the world can do that.
Thank you so much for the
My
interview.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Nice